each other when necessary to get the whole job done. Okay? So all of this, everything about leadership, whether it's the personal level, the interpersonal level, the managerial level, the organizational level, the societal level, is all about working together to get more done. 7 Habits model, you're familiar with this. Okay, so first paradigm is one of importance versus urgency. I want to show you a video, and when I'm done, I'm going to ask you 3 questions, okay? The value of time. Okay, so how we spend our lives, how we spend our time is a very, very important concept, very important thing for us to discuss. I want to ask you 3 questions. Number 1, I'd like you to write this down. What is one thing that if done superbly well would dramatically and positively impact your personal life? What is that one thing? One thing, if done superbly well, would have a positive, dramatic impact on your personal life. What would that one thing be? Don't say it, just write it down. One thing, if done superbly well, would have a positive, dramatic impact for good in your personal life. Is that one thing? Okay, question number 2. What is one thing, if done superbly well, would have a dramatic positive difference for good in your school or work life? Because I'm sure many of you have jobs. What would that one thing be? Same question, now applied to school/work. One of the 2. Question number 3. What is one thing if done superbly well would have a dramatic positive difference for good in your family life? What would that one thing be? Okay, I want to ask you to share what you wrote down, but let me ask you this. Why are we not doing those things? Why don't we do them? What gets in the way of our ability to do those things that you've just identified as the most important thing? That if we did it and did it well, it would have a profound positive difference for good. What gets in the way? Why don't we do that? Give me some of your thoughts.
Money.
Okay, money. Video games. Others? Procrastination. Health issues. Fear. Yes, please.
Like we let the less urgent things get in the
Yeah, we let the less important, but sometimes more urgent, get in the way. So for those of you who have been through the 7 habits, this is habit 3 stuff, okay? The principle that importance is greater than urgency. So, quick review of the time management matrix. Quadrant 1 represents those things that are what? Urgent and important. What happens if we ignore these things? We have trouble, right? They're urgent, which means they have the appearance of requiring immediate attention, and they're important, which means what? Got to do them. They got to be done now. These are the real emergencies, right? Don't ignore them. Quadrant 3 represents what? Those activities that are urgent, they seem like they need to be done, but they're not important. Does this really happen in your world? We have quadrant 3 activities. Okay, quadrant 4 represents those activities that are neither urgent or important. And quadrant 2, the magic quadrant, represents what? Those activities that are not urgent, but they are important. What are the kinds of things that fall in this quadrant? Studying? Is that urgent? Sometimes it is urgent, but a lot of times it's not, right? Other things. Okay, relationships. Are relationships urgent? Sometimes. When are they urgent? Okay, medical issues, that's a genuine, legitimate quadrant 1. When are other relationship issues important or urgent? Okay, when they're falling apart, and they've fallen apart, why? Probably because we haven't spent the appropriate amount of time in quadrant 2. This is one of the key things. As we teach organizations this notion of quadrant 2 time management, we have a lot of people say, you know, I would do it if I just had more time. So we did a little assessment for them and evaluated where people are spending their time in their organizational lives. Very interesting, we found that there was about 20% of their time that was spent here in quadrant 1. Okay, legitimate emergencies. It's like these medical emergencies you talked about. In an organizational life, you have those things that have to be done. If you're a public company and you've got an SEC filing, you better do it or you're going to be in trouble, right? You don't have any negotiation.